Oh, it's hot. You know what else is hot? The boys! Yo, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to McGahee's Entertainment. I'm your host, as always, Adam McGahee. So I know I've been gone a really long time, a lot of busy stuff going on. We moved into a new house, new jobs and everything, kids are getting bigger and stuff. By the grace of God, everything's going very good, and I can't thank him enough for that. So for anyone who has followed my channel in the past, you guys know that I'm into all that nerdy stuff. I'm into comics, I'm into video games, movies, all that good stuff. I think it's past the point of no return for me being cool. Now, when I first saw the poster, I thought it was for some new dark, gritty crime drama or something like that, and oh, it's dark and gritty, but just something completely different from what I thought it was. It has to do with superheroes, but not in the way you could possibly imagine. Now, in this show, it portrays superheroes as the bad guys, but not like your typical, oh, I'm going to destroy the world kind of bad guy. Well, there's one who might be like that, but we'll get to that later. It's going to be kind of like a spoiler review, because I'm going to have some spoilers in there, so if you haven't seen the show yet, I'll leave the spoilers maybe more toward the end of this review. So all in all, I just thought this show was absolutely fantastic. When I first saw the first trailer for the show, I wasn't sure exactly what to think. I thought it looked a little bit corny. I was like, what exactly is this about? But I just saw stellar reviews on YouTube, I'm seeing ads on Facebook, Instagram, everything like that. Everyone just had nothing but good things to say about this show. So I figured, hey, might as well give it a shot. So last week, I sat down and watched the first episode, and my mind was absolutely blown. Now, the week prior, I had just watched Watchmen for the first time. I know that's a 2009 movie that actually came out 10 years ago. And I had actually initially started working on a review for that movie because I was thoroughly impressed with that movie and how it handled the concept of superheroes in a modern era. It didn't exactly portray them as these perfect, shining pillars of light that people strive up to be in the Marvel movies per se, where they're just portrayed as these super perfect people. Watchmen portrayed the human flaws and just the human element that comes with having superpowers. I mean, it really focused that these people were just straight up people who just happened to have powers or extraordinary abilities. And I started working on a review for that, and I was actually in the middle of me writing my script for that video when I decided to check out this show, The Boys. And I'm sorry, Watchmen. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder. I do love your work. I'm a big fan of Batman vs. Superman. Loved Watchmen. But I'm sorry, this show just has to take preference right now because it honestly just took the concepts that I think Zack Snyder was trying to go for in Batman vs. Superman and in a movie like Watchmen. And it honestly just, I'm sorry, it just did it that much better. What I think this show really handled the concept of was hypocrisy. Basically, what this show focuses on is that these superheroes, mainly it's kind of like the Dark Justice League, if you will, of this show. They're called the Seven. And to the public eye, the Seven are portrayed as these super perfect, super nice people that use their powers just to help people. They're seen as celebrities. They have all sorts of endorsements. They have movie rights, TV show rights, video game rights. They're on all sorts of talk shows and everything. They are basically the biggest celebrities on the planet in this fictional universe. And like I said, to the public, they're like, oh, these people are so great. They do all this charity work and everything. They're so beautiful, so awesome, so perfect. I would love to be like that. But honestly, the more you dive into this show, the more it dives into exactly who these people are behind closed doors. And for the most part, they are not good people whatsoever. I mean, some of these superheroes, some of them, they're rapists, they're murderers, drug addicts. What I like about this show is that the things that the superheroes try to keep hidden, I feel it's a very, more or less a realistic take on the kinds of things that if people actually had superpowers, would actually do behind closed doors. Especially things with the rape and drug addiction. I mean, you see that kind of stuff with celebrities in the news more and more every day that's being uncovered that they had been hiding for years. So you can only imagine that if these celebrities that even exist today, if they had superpowers, things would be absolutely crazy that they'd be trying to get away with. And what this show really tackles is, if superheroes were real in our era, what exactly would happen and how would we perceive them, and then thus how would they interact with us as the public. What I really like about this show is that it tackles a lot of modern issues that actually exist and are highly debated today. So things like the Me Too movement, like this show definitely tackles that in a very tasteful way, I think I might add. There's a very good story arc involved with that, and I definitely highly recommend just watching it in general for that concept. And then also, as a Christian, I really like how this show tackles commercialized Christianity. And so how many religious and just Christian concepts taken from the Bible are just twisted and warped for monetization. And you see so many of these Christian celebrities just kind of just morphing the Word of God into their own religion, more or less, for their own monetary gain. And this show does tackle that very, very well. Now, I know a lot of people are getting offended by the content from this, but I think it tackles it very well. And it's not exactly pushing people towards like atheism or just forgetting about God in a way. What I think that this show is actually doing is it's showing how people actually should be, and just how Jesus would actually want people to interact with each other. Because he's not all about just commercializing Christianity and having people pay thousands of dollars just to get told that they're going to heaven. No, I mean, when Jesus saw people trading in the temple with silver and everything, he was furious and went inside and flipped the tables over and said, "This is not how things should be being run in my house." And this show more or less goes ahead and tackles that message in a very, very tasteful way. And I never thought I would see something like that in a superhero show, of all things. Now, mind you, I mean, the show is very graphic, of course. There's a lot of graphic violence. There is nudity in the show, and there is a lot of swearing. There's a lot of vulgarity in the show as well, too. I mean, it just, all of those elements, they just try to encapsulate the dark and gritty and R-rated nature of the show, and honestly, just the gritty nature of real life in general. Another thing I like about the show is, I mean, judging from probably what I'm talking about before, it probably just sounds like this super serious, just dark show all the time, and it's not. I mean, it's very well written. It's very funny at times. It's very comical, and it can be very serious too, but just the way that the dialogue is written, the pacing and story structure of just the overall script and the narrative, it all just is just interwoven together very, very well. And of course, another great standout thing about this show, and it's the overall star of the show, are the characters. Each character is just fantastic. They're well casted, fantastically written, and the performances are just absolutely stellar. From the humans, who are the boys, who are the group of CIA operatives, or ex-CIA, a little mix of CIA and just regular people who are just banded together to want to stop and just bring these superheroes' actions to light. Their whole cast is fantastic. Like I said, if you haven't watched the show yet, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but my favorite character is definitely Butcher, portrayed by Carl Urban. I love his accent, his portrayal, his beard, his Hawaiian shirts, and his whole character motivation. It's just excellent, excellent. Carl Urban has become one of my new favorite actors just because of this show. And my second favorite character would probably have to be Frenchie, Butcher's friend, the Frenchman. I have never seen this actor in anything before, and his performance was just a standout in this, and I cannot wait to see more of him in future episodes. And on the superhero side of things, I think Anthony Starr's portrayal as the Homelander, who is more or less kind of like an evil version of Superman in this, he is just fantastic. And to just say that he's an evil Superman would do his character a great injustice. He's not only just an evil Superman, because an evil Superman would just seek to just take over the world and be your typical comic book villain. No, like, he's a very realistic kind of evil. He's very maniacal, he's very he's a sociopath. And just the way he thinks, the way he moves, and just the way he saunters around, it's just very menacing and just very uncomfortable. whenever he's on screen, like, he just commands his presence. Like, you can't help but hate him, but just be, like, almost entranced by the way he talks and the things he says. And what really got me was how he can be once the cameras are on and once the cameras are off. Because, like, when he's talking on camera, he just seems like this, like, super nice, like, super handsome, like, charismatic, all-around good American guy. And then once the cameras are off, like, the way his portrayal is, how his face goes from a smile to an immediate frown, is just, oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Like, I know this guy was a big star in Banshee, and people really loved him in that show. I never saw the show Banshee, so this was the first time I've actually seen him performing in action, and he was just perfect, absolutely perfect. Like, he was as perfect as, like, even Robert Downey Jr.'s casting as Iron Man, or Chris Hemsworth's casting as Thor. Like, this guy, like, I saw a comment on one of the YouTube videos I was watching, like, this guy was born to play Homelander. That's what the comment said, and I could not agree with that even more. He's just one of those villains that you just love to hate, and you just need to see the show just to see him perform. I mean, this guy's he's become one of my favorite comic book villains portrayed on television of all time. Yeah, simple as that. One other thing I absolutely love about this is how it uses its budget for special effects. Now, I can only imagine, since this is a pilot series, I know it was produced by Seth Rogen, but I can only imagine they probably didn't have the highest budget possible for this show, but they very, very wisely, just as Doom Patrol used their budget wisely, they were strategic with where they wanted to use the special effects. Now, there isn't as many fight scenes as you would maybe imagine in a superhero style show, or in a movie like you see in Avengers or anything like that. No, there's not too many. What this show focuses on, just like the comic book, is the dialogue and the interaction between characters and character arcs and character build-up and just character development. But when there is actual fighting, when there is combat on screen, for the very few times that it is shown, it is just expertly done. The visuals are just absolutely amazing, and it just really, really, really just paints an amazing picture of just how powerful these superheroes are, what they're capable of, and also what the humans, the boys, are capable of. It just really just goes to show you just how brilliant we are as humans, and the lengths that we'll go for things like vengeance or revenge, or just when someone is driven, how you really just can't stop them, and how that can both be a good thing and a very bad thing. It just really just paints a very a realistic picture for humanity in general. So yeah, before I go, I just wanted to express how much I love this show and cannot wait for Season 2. I saw Season 2 already got greenlit and is already in the middle of filming. I've been seeing some posts about it on social media, and I just cannot wait for the next season, and I just cannot wait to talk to more of you about what you thought of the show, whether you liked it or hated it, maybe some things that you were offended by, other things that you loved about it, and it's fantastic. Okay, so before I go, there is like one sort of a spoilerish thing I want to leave you with. Well, actually, it's more or less of a spoiler warning. Because of the show, I've really gotten into the comic book now and have started reading it, and I've been watching other YouTube videos about the comic and how the story goes in the comic. Now, the show has, just like the Walking Dead show has, it's gone on a different path from the show. I mean, it's using core elements from the comic to kind of tell the overall story, so I'm not sure exactly where Season 2 is going to go in relationship to the comic. But if you have watched the show and started looking into the comic, for your own, just as a personal warning, do not look up who Black Noir is. Black Noir is one of my favorite characters in the show. He's very mysterious and very hilarious with just the things that he does, or maybe lack of things that he does, and he never talks. And I wanted to know who he was, so I looked it up, and the spoiler for that, it just, it broke me. And I wish I had waited to see who the show reveals that he is. Now, I know maybe the show will be a little bit different, and his identity may be different in the show, because maybe they're banking on a lot of people checking out the comic book now, and will be expecting this sort of twist in the show, and they might do it different. But I don't know. But I would say, for your own personal sake, and just for your own surprise, do not, and I repeat, do not look up who Black Noir is. Okay, yeah, guys, so that'll do it for this this review today. I wanted to keep it very laid back. I know this is a little bit different from how I normally do my videos. I know there's all sorts of like wacky edits and everything going on, but I just wanted to go maybe with a bit more of a laid back feel to this channel. Let me know if you liked it, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Tell me what your favorite moment was from The Boys. I know we can kind of get some spoilers going in the comments there. Like I said, I wanted to keep this review very spoiler-free. Might do a spoiler-filled one later on. But yeah, I definitely wanted to do some more movie reviews and TV show reviews going forward for this channel. Let me know what you think about everything. Let me know what I can do to improve upon this, and maybe some things that you'd like to see me cover. But yeah, overall, I just love doing this, and I'm loving to be back in the YouTube game. Like I said, if you feel free to like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys in the next one. Catch you later.